life. We're discouraged by the message that it's hard. We're told that our days will be long, yet the hours will be short. We're supposed to get through it, survive, cling on by that last little thread, and at the same time, pretend that everything's okay as we pour out our latest edited pictures on social media. The typical Christian culture sends us all kinds of mixed messages, discouraging messages. We shouldn't expect that much for ourselves, especially as women with ADHD. Life's just hard. But don't talk about your spouse negatively. Always appear happy and well put together. Never admit stress about money, parenting, and definitely do not discuss intimacy or the lack thereof. Be a better wife, but not at the expense of time with your kids. Be available to your friends, but don't be a doormat. As soon as you wake up, you should know how to work as a team, parent your child, sync your family's social and work schedules, live and thrive on a spiritual, emotional, and physical connectedness, but never lose yourself. I am here to put a hard stop to all of this. I've made it my mission to help women with ADHD find identity through boundaries, communication, the Enneagram, and the gospel of God. I'm obsessed with the idea that when we truly understand how God created us to be from the inside out, that all of these other areas will fall into place. This will impact how you communicate with your family and the level of connectedness that you have with your spouse. In this podcast, you will get to join me in discussions about Christian values, personalities, thriving with our neurotypical brains, communication building, self-discovery, inspiring interviews, and honestly, so much more. So take a deep breath, prop your feet up on that pile of clean clothes, and just know, girl, you found your tribe. I'm Becky Williams, and this is the Full On Purpose Show. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode. It's going to be another mini episode today. Just a quick reminder about this series. I'm going through all 9 Enneagram types, so if I have not hit your type yet, just hang tight because it is coming. But this episode is going to be rapid fire information, less than 10 minutes, I'm hoping. So if that's the kind of episode you're looking for, stay tuned. If you wanted something a little bit more in depth, at the beginning of this podcast in 2020, I did a lot of episodes on Enneagram. And if you'd like to know more information about the Enneagram, just let me know and I will get some more podcast episodes ready. So in April, our theme has been around anxiety, right? Of letting go of anxiety. And so if you're an Enneagram 2, you're going to react differently. You're going to be triggered differently than an Enneagram 1, like I talked about on the last episode. So if you are an Enneagram 2, you are an encourager. You're an advice giver. You're a flatterer, and you're a comforter. Everybody needs a type 2 in their life. I have a lot of type 2 friends, and I will tell you, they are treasured people. They are people that you can trust. So here's a quick story just to give you a perspective if you're not familiar with a type 2, or if maybe you're just unsure. Are you a type 2, or maybe you have somebody in your family or your close friend circle that is a type 2. So as an Enneagram 2, Jane was used to putting others before herself. But when stress hit, her need for approval and acceptance amplified, leading her to overextending herself even more. With each additional task, Jane's anxiety grew until she was completely overwhelmed. It wasn't until she hit rock bottom that she realized the importance of setting boundaries and taking care of herself first. It was a difficult lesson, but one that ultimately helped her to become a healthier and happier version of herself. So you see, when a type 2 is doing well, they ask good questions. They give helpful advice. They're empathetic listeners and a warm, compassionate presence. But when they're overwhelmed or triggered, it looks very different. They can exhibit these types of behavioral tendencies like withholding feelings from others. Okay, think about a brick wall, right? They put that wall up. Expressing emotions intensely. Okay, so this may be they can't hold it in anymore and they just say it all at the same time without any kind of filter. Extensively express how they feel, why they think that way, and what they believe was wrong that the other person did. They become passive-aggressive or even manipulative, aggressive, demanding, controlling. Okay, this is when they've had enough. All right. A type 2's defense mechanism is going to be repression. So they're going to be the ones who stuff things down. They're going to be the ones who don't want to express it until, okay, they've hit the absolute limit that they have, and now they're exploding, right? So type 2s will hide information about themselves because they don't want to experience painful emotions. This is very similar to what the 7 does in not wanting to experience those emotions. But the thing is, a type 2 is part of the heart triad. Okay, so they're going to be dealing with these heart situations all the time. They might ignore their feelings, their wishes, their desires, their aversions, their fears, their needs. Why? Because they're helping and they are taking care of everyone else, right? Because they're too difficult to acknowledge consciously, they want to push all of those emotions down to control them, which of course, they're believing if they can control them, they won't have any pain, but the opposite's true. We've talked about this in previous episodes. When they acknowledge needs and share them directly by asking for help, then they're able to see that others do love them and serve them. Okay, so allow those people, type 2s, allow those people in, even though it feels scary and you don't want to feel those painful emotions. Allow them in. It will help to reduce your anxiety. These kind of emotional responses. Okay, so these are the things that when a type 2 is feeling the need to repress, feeling the need to stuff, feeling the need to put up these walls, it happens whenever they feel like they're being taken for granted, which honestly is going to happen a lot if they're always looking outward and never taking care of themselves. Because let's just be honest, these are the people that always say yes. These are going to be the people that you can call and yeah, absolutely, I'll drop everything that I'm doing that's important to me right now and come help you. And there are just some people that will take advantage of that. If they're feeling unappreciated or underappreciated, that will trigger this kind of emotional response. Not feeling heard by others, okay? Just feeling like what they're saying does not even matter or nobody's even listening. A sense of not being needed or wanted. Feeling rejected or dispensable. Can you relate to any of these? Are you a type 2? Are you seeing some of these behaviors reflected in those that you love? So it is important to know, as the helper, which is a type 2, that when you or your loved one gets activated, that you communicate with them by being patient, being receptive, allow them to talk extensively and process externally. Okay? Let them say what they're going to say. Don't interrupt them. Paraphrase what you think that they said and ask clarifying questions so that they feel heard and minimize misunderstanding. This is so important. Avoid accusatory words or body language that can be shameful, hurtful, or close them off because they're going to put that wall back up. That's not helpful. Take time to focus on their thoughts and their feelings with curiosity and follow them with encouragement and affirmations. So let's end this episode with a Bible verse from Matthew 11:28. It says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." This verse reminds us that we do not have to carry our burdens and the burdens of our loved ones alone, but we can find peace and rest in God. So was this helpful? Was this helpful, type 2s? If so, please share with your friends on social media. Anytime that you leave a review, I will always take a screenshot and share it up in my stories. I look forward to seeing you again on episode 3 of this mini-series. We're going to dive into the Enneagram 3. I can't wait. Hey, thank you for tuning into today's episode. I hope that it blessed you. I hope you learned something. I hope you feel like you're walking away with more information than when you started. Look, could you do me a favor and take about 30 seconds? If you are on Apple Podcast, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and you're going to see a spot to leave a review. If you would leave a 5-star review and let me know what it is that the podcast did for you. Did you learn something? Were you inspired? Did you get some information that maybe you didn't have before? Let me know what it is that you liked about the podcast. Not only is this going to help the show to be able to be found in the search engines, but this also helps give me direct feedback. So I know, yes, you like what's going on the show. Yes, you like the topics. Yes, it is a blessing to you. That way I'll be able to create more content. If you would take 30 seconds and do this, it would be such a blessing and it would help us out. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to join you again on the next episode.